Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. Yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And please excuse the little frog in my throat. I've been under the weather for the last couple of days. But without further ado, here's this dude.
Yeah. What's up, brother? What we doing? You gonna be all right?
Listen, man, I'm gonna let you do a lot of the heavy lifting tonight. So there you go.
Oh, no, sir. That's why we got other co-hosts, right? But this co-host is JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been making books since 2008. And I'm hanging out with this guy to talk to other guys who've been making comic books as well. So why don't you bring some of them on?
What do you mean? We got the other co-host first.
What? Look at that. Look at that.
Drafted into this Coco role. Not sure that was in the contract. But
it was in the subheading, page 15, subsection 24A.
Right? Yeah.
Clause 9. Yep. Yeah. Clause 9 always gets me. Mm-hmm. Tom Hutchison, Big Dog Inc. 16 years of Big Dog Inc. this year. 15 years of The Legend of Oz, which is what we're focusing on as far as making comics all year long.
Cool.
Hey. So, yeah, my name's Aaron Humphres. See, down at the bottom. I've been making comic books for ever. Did one called Galleons. That was my big omnibus thing. And then I have one called Knocked, which I'm doing now. And I have a new issue of Knocked. Is why I'm here.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Neil Moherman. I've been doing comics for about 10 years now. I have a couple series, Cog and Flame, Doom Speaker, Fort, and I'm here to talk about our installment in the Hospice universe, Lorana.
All right, cool. We got Walter. What's up, Walter?
Hey, what's up? I'm Walter. I'm an artist. I did the art for Neil's book, Lorana, and did Shiver Bureau, Metal Shark Bro, Paxer, Ghost Bats, Cubicles, so on and so forth.
All right, cool.
Hey,
Tony.
I'm Tony James, writer of Star Noir, which has this the book 4 is out now. I've been doing comics for a little over 5 years.
All right, cool. Gentlemen, I'm sure some of you have seen the show notes. The show question, and here it is. How far does your knowledge of indie comics go? And the damn whole question is too long. So the other half of the question is, do you even care what's going on before you arrived on the scene, right? Some of us care, some of us don't care. I've encountered a lot of people, they're like, they have short memories. They're like, I just really only give a shit about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, right? So that's how that works. So last man in, first man up. Tony, your thoughts?
It depends on what we consider indie comics. Once upon a time, Image used to be considered indie comics in the Spawn days. So my knowledge goes back that far. But in terms of like the crowdfunding era of indie comics, not farther than when I first got here.
All right, fair enough. Now, do you even care though? That's the other part.
Okay. I care.
Cool. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
It goes back to the early 80s, maybe some in the 70s. So some of the books that I probably picked up in the 80s were made in the 70s and 60s. But yeah, I care. Dark Horse, like I said, I live outside Portland, Oregon, so Dark Horse was here. I grew up with that company. So most of my comic stores are mostly Dark Horse independent comics, not Marvel and DC. So I was more surrounded by, Concrete, Roach Mill. I can't think of some of the others. X, I didn't have the Mark, Dynamo Joe, I think, stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, fair enough. Neil, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go along with Tony there. It's probably earlier Image stuff was my first real step into the more indie comics, and now it's barely indie comics. But then there's a huge gap, and I would say about 10 years ago when I started writing, digging into who's making what and who's doing out there, making waves and making cool stuff.
All right, cool. Walter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably thinking like way more indie. Like a lot of my best friends that I've made, was pretty much going to conventions and kind of just walking down Artist Alley and like, finding these artists who haven't worked for any big company and probably never will, but they have these amazing stories and they have this really unique art style. And like those are the people that I kind of pay attention to and I walk with. I don't read very many superhero comics, or any actually, but so those are some of my best friendships, and I really care about their comics. And I've even met people through Kickstarter, even kind of as a virtual artist alley. So I mean, it's like I love these people that are doing all these small comics on their own and just like pushing it. Like, yeah, I'm into that stuff.
All right, cool. Tom.
Okay, this is wild to me that no one thinks that Image is indie comics anymore. That's wild to me. I can't. We're gonna come back to that, y'all. Be ready. That's a wild thought process. For me, the indies, I have connections back into the 80s for sure. Not more like awareness than like I read all of it. Like I was aware of like Flaming Carrot, and I was aware of Concrete, and I was aware of Grendel, and things like that. But I wasn't really reading it. Outside of the only one from the 80s that really sort of was really, I think my first, outside of like Charlton Comics and stuff, when they were doing like Bionic Woman and things like that, like that's an IP, so that doesn't really qualify as anything. But outside of like Marvel and DC, I think the first thing I ever recognized as like, oh, here's a thing, was ElfQuest. And also ElfQuest came out, it was like a magazine size. It wasn't like your normal thing. So it had the size differential. It had, this awesome art. It was black and white, which was, relatively new to me. So I remember very much ElfQuest. I remember getting into the 90s where things started to, well, obviously the Turtles came around. I was aware of the Turtles, but I was never really reading them. Friends of mine were, so it was always kind of like around our comic circles. But I don't really remember any of us being like, I'm reading like Star Slayer or like, just completely outside Marvel and DC stuff. But then for the 90s, when the boom hit, that was my peak as far as like, I had the age, I had a car, I could drive to the comic book store. I had the access to all that stuff, like really, truly. So like pre-Image and then like after Image. So I was there, like we were deep in comics at that point. So we were all about the Image stuff. Again, we weren't all reading like all of that, but we were in it to a point where it was like, we couldn't ignore it. Like a friend of mine might read Wildcats, I might read Spawn, somebody else might read, whatever, and then it would just circulate. Well, you got that, and you got that, and you got that, circulate it. And so we're all in it. A friend of mine was gigantic into Valiant, like insane. I need everything. I need every version. I need all of this into Valiant. And then, it just kept coming and coming and coming in the 90s. I mean, it was just endless flow of new publishers and new publishers and new publishers. So, but I was working at a comic shop at the time. So we were, I was ordering books and we were doing all of that. And so for me, I've discovered a bunch more now that I'm kind of older, and I'm done with Marvel and DC at this point. Like there's really nothing that I touched for almost a decade from either of those companies. So in that time, I've now sort of reversed course, and I'm kind of going backwards through the comic realm. Like, what did I miss in the 2000s? What did I miss in the 90s? What did I miss in the 80s? And I go backwards and I find stuff, which has been pretty fun. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at my shelves. Like, there's a few modern things that I have up here. Like, I have Adam Warren's Empowered on the shelf. I have Hack Slash from Tim Seeley. Xenozoic Tales, of course. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I mean, that's a classic that everyone should be reading. So So there's some stuff on here on my shelves. But for me, it's very like, I have all the Invincible run over there. So I'm very like, things get a chance, but you only get a few issues and then I fall out if you don't grab me. So there's been a lot of stuff that has gotten opportunity and just hasn't stayed on the shelf. So I'm very particular in what I'm doing in my collection. So, and then anything that I don't like, I sell on my live shows. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so my history is a little weird with Indy because I don't know if you can classify 2000 AD or Nexus or
Well, Nexus, yeah.
Nexus, yeah. So Nexus, I remember picking that up at Walden Books, right? I think I dated myself with Walden Books. There's been a Walden Books around in over 20 years. But that used to be not on the magazine rack, but they had a weird spinner rack. So it wasn't the metal bracket spinner rack at Walden Books. It was a spinner rack, but it had an acrylic layer to it. Yeah, and it was slid into that. So there was so I picked up Nexus and I picked up Judge Dredd through the 2000 AD stuff that was on the magazine rack, but it was in the porn shelf of Walden Books, which is weird, right? It was divided.
That's not weird. There's tits in that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So it was hidden there, and it was like not blind Playboy. I want to see the guy with the big guns, right? So there was that, and then my best friend's dad was Thai. He worked down in Chinatown, and he would pick up some manga. Right, we know them. I remember they were muscle fighters, right? But there was the one wrestler that had the fin, the Savage Dragon fin, but he had the bug eyes and the hot dog mouth. I think it was Kanyoku Man or something like that. So I remember him picking up those black and white stuff for us. But then in the 90s, I discovered Dark Horse through the Predators license that they had, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a comic shop a few blocks. Well, my high school sat in between two comic shops. It was about a mile each way, but I would hit both of them during the week, and I'd pick up that and looking for something else. I discovered Mage, Grendel, later on Bone. You know, Malibu. I didn't know about them until Image came out. You know, but and Elfquest. I knew about it, and Cerebus, I knew about it, but I didn't really pick them up. That wasn't my jam. Yeah, is it important? If I can utilize some of the footsteps that they took in their path, right, and apply that to what I'm doing, maybe, yeah. But for a lot of those things that I'm bringing up or we've brought up, you know, we're talking about 30-year-old properties. How relevant are many of them today, right? I said this last week. How relevant are we today with the stuff that we're making, and we're still trying to tread the ground that we loved. So for historical reference, yeah, it's important. You know, for days like today when we found out that Sam Keefe died. Yeah, you know, your heart goes out to him. And you see all this other stuff that you didn't know he worked on. I didn't know he was part of Dream.
Sandman.
Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't know he helped to create that book at all. So I was like, oh my God, that's new information for me. You know, that's where it's important to know the history, right? But I don't think many of the footsteps that they've made are things that we can apply today. I mean, some are, yeah, some, but not many.
That's fair. I mean, I go way back. I mean, I've spoken about this before, you know, with Pacific Comics and Jack Kirby's Captain Victory and Kamiko with Elementals and all this stuff, Warlock 5 and all these older books. I was always attracted to anything that wasn't Marvel or DC. That's not I appreciated those books for Marvel and DC, but I was really attracted to anything that wasn't that. Because it was different. It was unique to me because their stuff had a certain level of sameness, right? It was good, but I wanted something a little different, right? And the reason I bring this subject up is because my wife, Daphne, she's, through her own watching and viewings, her opinion is that, that when we die, all our stuff is going to go into the bottom of a dumpster. Okay. All of our collections, all of our work, right? Because she's seen it happen, right? We know of creators personally who, when they passed, their family literally said, come and get this stuff from us, or it's going to go into this dumpster. Okay. And the one thing I tell everyone is, like, if you want your work appreciated, you have to appreciate other people's work. If you want your history at some point appreciated, you have to appreciate other people's history, the stuff that has preceded us, right? So that's how I look at it, right? So that's why I bring up the subject to sometimes just remind people. I mean, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not that expensive. Go into a dollar bin, yank out some of those old 80s black and white comics, man, and just read it. If you like them, pass them on to people. It's not a big deal. You might find something you like, there's a lot of stuff out there, man. You'd be surprised, So anyway, that's morose enough. Let's move on. Jay, you got a happier question?
No, because you just sucked the wind out of me right there, bro. Shit, I didn't know when you were sick, you were depressing too. Damn, man. Okay, all right. So we're on the indie train right now. If there was one indie book that was discontinued, or their creator passed on, what book would it be, and who would you want working on it today?
All right, cool. Well, Aaron, you're up.
Repeat the question one more time.
I don't know. I was going off the top of my head, bro.
Okay. So you're like,
if there was one indie book that's no longer made, right?
Okay.
Whether it's because the creator's not doing it or the creator passed on, what would you like to see be done today? What would you like to see be brought back, and who would you like to see working on it?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's independent, but I would love to see Shiro finish Appleseed. Of course, if Shiro ever did finish that, if they ever finish Appleseed without Shiro, I don't know if I'd like it. So I don't know if that's an answer to that. Paul Chadwick is bringing back the Concrete. I do like Concrete a lot. I'm trying to think of what else. Trying to think of any unfinished. They've tried to bring back Alien Legion. Of course, that's not really independent. They tried to bring it back, and of course, it fell flat. I'm like, of course. God, I have so many random comics that I've read over the years. I don't even begin. There's like probably a ton that I would totally love to see come back, and now I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Appleseed, when it was made, he ended it in the middle of book 5. It's supposed to be 10 volumes long, and he ended it. And so me and my friend who are huge Appleseed fans have just been like, what if? He went on the Ghost in the Shell and pretty much just dropped Appleseed like a bad habit. I'm like, of course. So we're still angry at him for that. Now he does very pretty looking hentai. So he's moved on from all of that. Now he just does hentai and he doesn't give a shit. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
He's made his money.
He made his money, man. He does not need to go back. That guy is a legend in Japan. So
this is true. Neil, what are your thoughts?
I was just looking at my shelves trying to find something that I know wasn't finished and not just me quit reading it and forgetting to go pick it back up. But there was a book, I don't even know, it might have been an Image book, The Autumn Lands.
Kurt Busiek?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So does anybody know why that wasn't continued, or?
He passed on, didn't he?
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be a
Busiek
good reason
died.
too. Okay.
Well, Kurt Busiek, I think, is still alive.
Okay.
I think he died.
No, Carlos Pacheco died.
Yeah.
That was his.
I'm gonna double check this now, because
and
I've
that
seen
was-
Kurt Busiek wanders around my hometown from time to time. I've seen him hanging out at the mall,
That's funny.
which is weird. I saw him and he's like, isn't that him hanging out in the food court?
He still could be dead. That could be a ghost.
Okay,
You don't know.
then why? It's not him. Then it must have been somebody else. Okay, my bad. I could have sworn it was like him or somebody else passed on. Sorry. But he's still kicking.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting story. Kind of anthropomorphic creatures, people. Yeah, I don't know who I'd want to have it picked up by though. I think it could be real cool and kind of the Middle West art style. Was that Corona that did that?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that type of art style though. So I'm usually drawn to those type of lines.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Walter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this one comic book called Shiver Bureau by Walter Osley. I would love for Walter Osley to pick that back up. But I was thinking like the first book that actually got me to like think that I wanted to make comic books was a book, like one of the first books I got from like San Diego Comic-Con. And I probably bought it from the creator and I didn't even realize it because I was like a little kid and my brother brought me to this. And you can ask questions of why my brother let me buy this book. But it was Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. And man, I love that book. I could not get enough of it. Like I started making up my own homicidal comic. And of course, the creator went on to do Invader Zim and stuff. But it'd be awesome if he did like another volume of that. And the other one I could think of is by Ben Templesmith, Wormwood. Which is when I was in my adult life and I was actually going to start doing comics for real. Like that was one of my inspirations because it was like, oh, you know, I don't have to draw like Jim Lee to be able to make comics. And I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, wow, I could actually do this because I can't draw like Jim Lee. But it would be cool to see him pick that back up. I think he had issues with his publisher and like all kinds of legal stuff there. So I think he dropped it.
Gotcha, cool. But yeah, but Wormwood was good. That was a good book. Tony, what are your thoughts?
There was a book by Dark Horse called Dream Thief, which the guy steals like an ancient mask and gets possessed by vengeful spirits while he's like asleep. That only ran for about 5 issues. It was really, really great concept. I'd like to see that original team pick that back up, or maybe Buzzkill, Donny Cates, where the superhero that gets stronger when he drinks, the more he drinks. I thought that was a really fun concept.
All right.
Hold on, 1 second. So I need to add one to think of one. The Red Star. I'll add that in. If you managed to read the Red Star, that thing dropped at the very end of it. Irritated me to no damn end. And they'll never finish that thing again. Ever.
Red Star.
The Red Star, it was basically like Russia. They were going into a fight with Russia, and it was like magic based. And the last scene is them charging to the last battle, and they're like, "We're done." I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" And they will never finish that because that team went all over. Absolutely gorgeous book, phenomenal book. Dropped like a bad habit. I still own all of it, but I have a hard time reading it, knowing that I'm just going to come to a complete dead end. It's not going to go anywhere.
Gotcha. All right, Tom, what are your thoughts?
No, you didn't ask Tony. You
I asked Tony.
You did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did. You weren't paying attention. Again.
You did?
Yeah.
Did I blank out?
Probably.
Senior moment.
Exactly. It's okay, Jay. It's okay. So,
maybe this is a weird take, but I don't want anybody else to do the book. So, for example, Xenozoic Tales, right? I want it. I need more Mark Schultz. But if getting it means it's not Mark Schultz, I don't think I care.
Okay.
Even if he's writing it and someone else is drawing it, I don't think I care. Now, if someone else was writing it and he was drawing it, maybe, because at least I'd get that art. But yeah, I really don't have anything that's outstanding that I'd be like, oh, that should come back without the creator, because that's sort of what this question is landing on, is who else could do something. And the answer is anybody could do something. But would you put Grant Morrison on Xenozoic Tales? Probably not. I don't think that we necessarily need that interpretation. So I think we're if the creator, I mean, it's a bummer if the creator passes, right? Like then you're really just sort of like, well, that's it. But if the creator is so disinterested in whatever it is that he's like, never mind, let it be. Like, just let it be, because that he gave you what he had for you. Because if he wanted to come back, he'd be like, well, I'm going to do episode 6 through 10, and I'm going to wrap it up. But he clearly just isn't there, so
Is not
there's no point in forcing it to be there,
Right.
you know. So for me, I would just let sleeping dogs lie. I don't think I'd ever really look at something and be like, put that guy on that. Like, I could say, like, I could say, like, Art Adams could draw Xenozoic Tales. I would love to see Art Adams draw all that dinosaur stuff. That would be cool, for sure, 100%. And you'd probably get me if you had sort of a top tier guy coming in and doing that stuff. I'd be like, yeah, okay. But it still wouldn't be what the series was. So there would still be sort of this, oh, Mark Schultz, this is so great. Okay, Art Adams, so it's good, but it's still not what it was. So I'd rather just leave it be. It's sort of like all these movies being remade all the time. It's like, just let it be. Bring me something else. Let what it is just be. Let us enjoy what it is, and move on.
Although Mark A. Nelson, I think, would do a good job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty of people you could put on a book, and it would be a rational, okay, we can probably sell this book, right? I'm not saying that no one can replace Mark Schultz, but if Mark did 14 issues and this is what you're in for, and it's his creator-owned thing, like there was no, like, well, one issue was done by this guy and one issue was done by this guy. Like, if you had that sort of as a precedent, like every now and then it did change, that might change the thought process a little bit, because you're used to that change. But it was him from beginning, middle, and end all the way through. So I don't know that I would want any more of that in that context.
I mean, last I heard, he was doing another arc.
Supposedly, but that was like 5 years ago.
Well, it might be close to being done.
We're almost done. Almost done with another 20 pages.
Exactly. You might almost be done. All right. What's funny is, I mean, as far as like what's not done, and here's the thing: the only creator I'd want on these 2 or 3 books that I'm going to mention is me, right? Because I'd want to write them. And it's more because it's just a childhood thing, you know. It's like one of them's Captain Paragon, which was like an early AC comic, right, that I really enjoyed. And they released the first 4 issues, and I know they've done other stuff with the character, but I would pick it up right after issue 4. I don't care what they did afterwards. And then another one is Dragon Force that Dale Keown worked on when he was at Aircel, just because it was just so weird. Another one would be but if there is a comic book that I would love to see finished by the original creator, it's Elementals by Bill Willingham. That's one of the few books that I want to read that book. I don't want to any part of that book. I want Bill to write it. He can get a good artist to draw it, and he can do the covers, and I'd be happy. I'd be very happy. So, you know, yeah, that I think that's where I would be.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to see Leonard Nimoy come back to do Technomage.
You're going to have a bad day.
That one.
You're going to have a bad day when we tell you something.
I know. I'm sorry. That was one of those wizard push to indie books. You know what I mean? I think it had more publicity than it did have fan interaction for it. But I really would like to see Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. They did a book called Ash. I think he got up to issue number 5 or 6, something like that. I think they went right on to do Marvel Knights, so that's why they never finished it. Mm-hmm. Right? But I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'm a New Yorker. The firemen are the heroes out here. That's as close as we're going to get. So that being the star of the book was just like, you know. But I don't think we're going to get that. Yeah.
No, you'll never see that. No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. Even now, even with him out of Marvel and going back to doing his own stuff, Ash is not even.
And wasn't Painkiller Jane's theirs as well?
It was, but see, that's the thing. Painkiller Jane just finished up on Kickstarter. If it's not still going on right now, you know. But I've asked him Palmiotti, because he's more reachable than Quesada is. I've asked Palmiotti a bunch of times, and he kindly dances around answering that question. So
Okay. I mean, my understanding is they're still friends, but
Yeah.
we never know what happened in the background. So
never know.
you never know. But I mean, it could be something dark, but nowhere near as dark as Star Noir, right? So,
Anyway.
Tony, do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, it's a minute long.
Welcome back, readers. Last time in Los Angeles, our ace detective received a mysterious letter from our elusive killer. With another copper having kicked the bucket, he set out with his eager rookie to narrow their leads. They crossed paths with one Orson Welles, a real drunkard sauced all the way up to his eyeballs. Our detectives learned the late Patrick Perkins was hunting one of their colleagues before his demise. Meanwhile, Captain Higgins became a prime suspect, vanishing into a peculiar domicile in the sticks. In our next chapter, the poop hits the proverbial fan as our gumshoes tango with the deadly shapeshifter. Several threads in our mystery reach a breaking point, tightening the noose around our detectives. Danger lurks around every corner like a back alley shadow. Things go belly up for everyone involved. Book 4 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. In his corner are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And jumpin' Jehoshaphat, take a gander at those rewards. The exclusives are a real humdinger. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
Nice. I always love that. Anyway. So Tony, what are we looking at here, sir?
Yeah, this is Star Noir. This is like LA Confidential meets the X-Files. It's about a 1940s detective who teams up with this gray alien to stop a reptilian shapeshifter who is posing as one of their fellow officers in Central Station. And while they're trying to figure out which one of their fellow officers is an alien, a bunch of detectives are getting picked off one by one. It's been a really great series. Every book does over 10K. This is the 4th book in the series. This has been the biggest launch the series has had so far. We hit our funding goal in like 2 days. So yeah, now we're doing stretch goals. If you've never read it before, there is a preview link for the first 9 pages of the first book right under the cover. You can also check out my other stories, Moonshine. It's a lunar western, and Reloader is just this revenge story set in virtual reality. There's previews for those as well. If you're trying to jump in on the story, there's a catch-up tier called The Big Sleep that's right at the top. The art team did a nice Batman print that we added as part of one of the rewards. Our artist Pablo did a watercolor of his own volition. And we decided to put that on canvas and a poster print as well. And you can also be drawn into it. There's a couple spots left to that. We did that last time for book 3. Readers got a real kick out of that. So we're doing it again. And now we have an enamel pin of our gray alien Ellis Tate.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I remember it's a 6-issue limited series?
Yes, sir. Yep, we have another arc after this that'll take place in New York City during Prohibition. But this is a great murder mystery. Really been enjoying working on it. Just have really passionate readers that have really been giving this one a lot of love. So very, very happy to work on it.
All right, cool. Listen, man, I think I've had you on the show since the beginning, right? This is the first one? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm still waiting, Tony. I'm still waiting.
Well, actually, you don't have to wait because there's a reward tier that's just for the first book. If you just want to, if you want to get a taste of it.
Man, I want the whole thing. I'm greedy.
Get the taste. Just get the taste.
Chunk. With the whole chunk. But listen, man. But with all honesty, I see it. I know it's a good book. It looks great. I'm waiting. I tease, but when what I'm waiting for, when it comes out, I'm gonna get it. So,
okay.
But it's a great looking book. And I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. So with bated breath. But you're another 24 days. You're 15K. You're way ahead.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be perhaps your best, launch today, right? I think this will probably be your best. Yeah.
It's been really, really strong this time around. It's great. So if you like the X-Files, if you like, LA Confidential, we really kind of blend that 1940s noir aesthetic with kind of very creepy, grounded feeling aliens. This one, a lot of people die in this one. I mean, people die in each one, but this one more so than ever.
Gotcha. Very nice. Very nice. How many pages per issue?
It's about 50. So
All right.
they're meaty chapters.
Nice, very nice, very nice. All right, so everybody got another 24 days. Go check it out. Great book, great creator. All right, very nice. Then we will pull up. All right. All right. Neil, do you want me to play this video?
Whew. If you want to, man, it's something. Definitely not on
Is it like 2 hours?
same wave. No, it's 30 it's 30 seconds of just pure cinematic genius.
Gotcha.
So.
Hi there. I'm Marcus the Frog, and I'm here to tell you about a comic book that's started now on Kickstarter. It's called Lorana. It's part of the Hospice universe, and it's about a luchador who's frog themed, and he's got a demon inside of him who's a frog, and it's about family. And you should back it on Kickstarter. All right now, bye.
all you need
that
to know.
that was something.
That
was indeed something.
Yeah.
Right. So, Neil, what are we looking at?
Okay, so Lorana is part of the Hospice universe that Travis Gibb et al. Did their first season of a couple years ago, and they're starting a new season. So I think 5 groups of creators are putting out their own one-shot comics put in the Hospice universe, and ours is Lorana. It's a story about a luchador who his family has a curse. They're carrying down this demon through the generations, and it's causing them to be worse and worse bad people. Lorana tries to put it in the ring, use that for his aggression, but the demon, who kind of dresses as a frog, his name's Big Jim, makes a deal with him to start killing people doing bad things for, fame and fortune. So that's where we are there. But the demon was originally a frog, and I think Walter asked randomly maybe he could just be dressing like a frog. Is that true, Walter? Is that how we came to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all came apart, like, I think when we were doing sketches and I was doing the thumbnails. And so, our comic thumbnails are super loose, just shorthand for things. And so I drew the frog in there as like a placeholder for where he's going to be, because we hadn't quite designed him yet. And I drew him like this goofy looking, like Kermit looking frog. And I was like, man, it would be super funny if that's just what he looked like the entire time. And I said it to Neil, and mad props to Neil for kind of letting me go crazy with the book. Because I know I kept tweaking things. I don't know if he was secretly wanting to strangle me, but I was like, would it be funny if we did this, or would it be cool if we did this? So basically it was just, we were both just having a ton of fun, just kind of throwing around ideas for this story with the designs and everything.
Yeah, it's definitely not the book that I think we started making. But no, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm always willing to let artists, and especially Walter, just run. If he says he wants to get weird with it, he can get weird with it. And
I will say that I was not consulted on the video, so I had no input in that until I saw it after the campaign went live. So you can't hold me accountable.
It's genius. It was done in 3 takes. 3 takes. Just because the other yes, that genius took 3 takes. The other ones were too long. It was too long to load up there. So that's what we got. There's allegedly another video coming that is going to be better, but I mean, we're halfway through the campaign, and we'll see.
Hey, listen, we once had a guy who nearly set, what was it, Tom? Was it his house or his kitchen on fire, shooting his video?
What?
Oh yeah. He had he was doing puppets, sort of,
Right.
and he had a spaceship, and he put some sort of a sparkler kind of crap in the back of his spaceship, something that ignited so he could get smoke, but he couldn't control it, and it started melting the ship, and it was crazy.
I mean, I would have used that video still.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Perfect.
It was hilarious because he did it with his kids, and it was so funny.
Yeah.
And listen, I actually liked the frog. It was fun. I thought it was good. You know?
Wait, that was a frog on the video?
It was a puppet frog. It's on brand because everything's
Yeah,
frog.
I get it, but he was brown.
Not all frogs are green, man, and that was his belly. Listen, I am a herpetologist, and that looks like a frog to me. So
Okay. All right, listen.
It's all right. Jay thinks that Godzilla is green too.
He's a lizard.
I think Jay's a little colorblind.
this is a newsflash too. Not all lizards are green, man.
I don't know. I don't trust you guys. I think you're trying to gaslight me. Yeah, you guys are messing with me.
So, Neil, is this a one shot or a limited series? What are we looking at?
Yeah, it's 24 pages long. It's done. I mean, Walter did throw an open ending on there with the little frog riding off into the sunset, but I currently have no plans on continuing it unless Walter really wants the adventures of Frog and Ranita.
All right, cool. I mean, listen, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, who's well, obviously, Neil, you're a huge wrestling fan. You
Not at all.
Luchadors? Huh?
Not at all. The script was very well written with specific wrestling moves as wrestle in there. I don't know how we got onto wrestling. I think there's a Mountain Goat song and there's a line frog mask and yellow cape. The whole album, Beat the Champs, about luchador wrestling. I think I was just listening to that. I'm like, this would be real cool. Set it in this. I know nothing about this, but let's do it.
Gotcha.
There's a comic which also I wish was another comic that I wish got continued was Lucha Libre that had a bunch of different character or creators on it for different artists and whatever. And it was like this superhero team of luchador fighters, and they'd go around and save the world or whatever. And I think when I read that book for the first time, I fell in love with the whole aesthetic, and since that time I've always wanted to do some kind of lucha libre type story. And I think Neil and I were going back on what would be a cool idea to do, and we kind of fell into this whole thing. It was kismet. So
all right, cool. I mean, listen, man, I like it, man. It looks like a lot of fun. You said it was 24 pages?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, cool. Well, you got 73 backers. You got 17 days to go. Got a little bit of work to do, but not much. I think I don't think you have any issues making that goal.
No.
So very nice. I mean, I like it. I mean, everybody go pick up a luchador book with a frog demon. You can't get enough of those. All right. Okay. Mr. Humphres.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Well, I finally got the third issue done. It took me a year to do that. So Noct, if you've not heard, I like Halloween, I like Barbarians. So I squished them together. And my Godlings is my other book. That's 12 issues. That's done. You can buy individual issues. You can buy the giant book there. Then I put some other... Noct started out as a series of prints explaining this guy's history, and then it just started. That's the newest one. Those are the Hellhounds. He's vampire hunting, and so a lot of vampires will have Hellhounds guard them when they're sleeping. And so he meets this girl, and they're vampire hunting. That's the vampire. My take on a vampire: his head's purposely cut off, so you reveal the next line. And I also want to concentrate on the blood. His body is like liquid blood. So he's not like a traditional vampire. He actually can move around like a snake with his blood, controlled like liquid. That's why he needs more blood. I don't know if I showed the vampire. I just think I just showed that part. I kind of kept that a secret. He's kind of more demonic looking. But all my issues are independent, so you can buy any issue out of order. I don't number them; they're all independent stories. There is an overarching sort of background of the character, but like most book series, I'll just tell you what story that's in or whatever. Very loose. That's the one with the dog that steals his pumpkin kill, and he has to go chase it down. And I don't know if I put the image of the Jekyll and Hyde, two-headed monster, one side's Jekyll, one side's Hyde. And so. And then the other one is the one with the skull, when he finds the skull in the dirt and has to save himself. That's when he's killing the undead knights. So, but all those issues are done. I do have the fourth one already written, and I'm already thumbnailing it out. 4 extra pages because I had to extend it to end it. The fourth one is kind of where he meets his nemesis, who does actually show up again in future issues. That's the Headless Lord. That's him. Barbarian You Shoot Badly. If you played Gauntlet, you know what that's from. So stuff like that. Yeah, I just run a store, run my comics. So you're more than welcome to go to my store and buy it. So,
all right, cool. Now, what's the website?
Humphres Illustration at Big Cartel. Just print Humphres Illustration, which is my last name. It's my dad's last name, so it's it's some family significance to me. So that's why I call it that. Name of my business. You'll find it. If you put Knock, I think you'll find it too. So yeah. So. Those are prints. Some stories I might write. The original idea of Noct was like he would tell parts of his story in prints. And then I just started taking up more stories and just went on. I like Barbarian, so and I had some ideas for him. So yeah.
All right, cool. So
those are the Jekyll Hydes. Those characters are in the fourth issue. The issue I'm writing now, those are the Grinning Jacks. These are the Grinning Jacks. They will be in the next issue. And they're kind of more of a permanent menace in Israel. So,
are you looking to do? I mean, currently you're doing one a year. Are you looking to get maybe a little bit closer?
Hopefully, I'm looking to get a little bit closer. My snafus, I'm getting into modeling, and so that's my own fault. I've taken another art form that I've been enjoying, but I'm going to hopefully focus more on modeling. And so, also, I just have a lot of 2 jobs. My girlfriend's disabled, so I have a lot of responsibilities. So sometimes I don't have a lot of time to work on it. So I try my best. Yeah.
All right, cool. So is that going to be runway or cover?
Oh, which one?
Runway or cover? You said you were getting into modeling, right?
Oh yeah, you know me. It's the bearskin rug, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have a gray hair on your head. The bearskin rug, taking care of that baby.
Yeah, taking care of it.
All right.
All right. Late pledges are available for Vicky Sticks' Dead Princess. We're still getting late pledges after the campaign is over. We got a couple. The book is almost ready to be fulfilled. Well, excuse me. We're just waiting for Kickstarter to send us the money, and we can send out digital rewards, and then we'll send out the book to print. This book was part of a special collector creator collection trading card set. So that's why the late pledges are going on. And 4 of the 9 cards have been revealed. It's a 9-piece puzzle set where the back of the cards have a big old jam image. So card number 4 will be available later on in April from Marvin Wynn. And then we start the cycle again. Calderon will have a card. Tom will have a card. Rob Multari will have a card. And then by the end of the year, if you've backed all of our campaigns, you've gotten all of these cards. You have a great big jam piece. It's a nice way to say thank you to everybody who keeps supporting us on a consistent basis. And then we've unlocked quite a few of the trading cards. This is some of the preview images. I took away the word balloons to keep from spoiling anything in there. So it is written by me, illustrated by Donnie Hadiwijaya, and colored by Champion Ramirez. For those of you who don't know what Vicky Sticks is about, well, we are reinterpreting the Frankenstein's monster story, but here in New York City with a female lead, and she is the protector of all the creatures that go bump in the night and walk the shadows. Again, late pledges are still available. You can pick up some of the things like our premium blood red foil variants, some of our holochrome holochrome premium covers, and then you can also pick up issues 0, 1, and 2, which is this was for.
All right, cool. Very nice. When do you expect the next issue to come out?
Well, I just made an update today. We put the cover up, illustrated by Narcielo Souza. The issue,
If you had backed it, you would know Calderon.
yeah, buddy.
Did back it. I just deleted his emails.
Yeah, Tom. Donny Hadi-Wijaya is illustrating issue number 3 right now. So we're planning to get that one out by July, and then issue number 4 in November, if we can pull it off.
All right, cool. I have faith in you. You can do it.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
You can do it. That's a card set right there.
Put a single on you. Put a single on. Come on, buddy.
There you go. That's the.
There you go. That's the trading card set.
Yep.
There you go. All right.
And I resisted. I don't know if you noticed.
I know you noticed. Excuse me, I did notice. Yes, I'm not going to say it, but yeah. So what he's talking about, folks, is that the back of it also has the what the jam piece looks like, and there's been times where he has slowly revealed it, even though we're trying not to.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's there. I pick up my cards, but you're sick, so I can't afford to get sick right now.
No, I got you. Tom, what's this?
So this is what we're launching on Saturday, March 28th. This is our dual celebration here. It's 16 years of Big Dog Inc. That's why it's the BD 16 Ozthology, and it's the Ozthology because it's the 15-year anniversary of The Legend of Oz: The Wicked West. So we're going to show you guys the covers. This stuff has only been seen by our Patreon members so far, so you get a little world debut here. So you're going to get 3 10-page stories with characters that you can see on the cover here: Overman Anu, the Glass Cat, and the Silver Princess. There's 6 new characters across these 3 stories that have never appeared in our main Legend of Oz series before, so it's a ton of new characters. There's the Glass Cat variant by Asher B. Why are we not clicking the machine? There we go. That is the Silver Princess by Nia Rufino. That is Overman Anu by Jason Hare. And then there's a couple of just variants. We have our Scarecrow by Inkaru. The Wicked Witch of the West by Pablo Munoz. And I've got one more that I haven't got set up yet, and it's our Dorothy Gale cover by Izaneto Adamar. But this is the covers that we'll have for the book on Saturday.
Cool. And how long is this one going to run for?
3 weeks, just like our normal, kind of standard normal.
All right, cool. Got one last one to roll in here. This is for Rod Espinoza. Have to get back onto the show. It's for Adventure Finders. It's in the sign-up stage, so if you want. Rod has been doing comics for a long time. I think longer than 30 years at this point. He's worked over at Antarctic Press for a long time. Published by Dark Horse, a couple other companies. And this is his long-standing webcomic. And myself and my wife, we've gotten together. We're going to help him out. We're publishing it for him here in the States. He's in the Philippines, so obviously he can't do it. And, it's a fun adventure dungeon. If you love Dungeons and Dragons, you love Lord of the Rings, that sort of thing, this might be something you might want to look into. You love, anything along fantasy related, high fantasy, that sort of thing, then you want to go check this out. So probably going to launch in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's that. Tom, what's your question?
Okay. Here we go.
Wait.
What?
Tony has to leave early.
Okay, go.
So, Tony, you want to make eggs now or you want to wait?
No, I'm good. They delayed it a little bit, so I got a little more time.
All right, cool. Tom, there you go.
See, just wasting my time, Calderon.
Yeah, I know.
Before Tom asks his,
Oh my God.
before
Oh my
Tom
God.
asks his questions, I just want to let everybody know that the links to the books that were shown up so far are in the Creative Comics.
Yes.
And now Tony has to go.
And
Okay, so here's the question: are Image Comics indie comics? And if not, why not? And remember that if we consider Dark Horse Comics indie comics, what's the difference?
Okay, that's fair. Neil, you're up.
I do think it's indie comics. It's just there's almost like mainstream indie comics, and then the indie comics that we're creating are a much smaller. And I guess I don't know, why do we do that with bands too? When they get big, they cease to be indie. When they're if they're on an independent label, they're still indie by definition. But yeah, we tend to knock them off as being an indie band. So yeah, I see no reason why they shouldn't be indie comics. They're all creator owned, still correct at Image.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're just mainstream indie comics. I'll start. Yeah, we'll go with that.
They're all indie except for the IPs.
Yeah. If it's not Batman or Superman, it's indie.
Fair enough. Walter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're independent comics. I mean, a lot of those creators, are still in the trenches, like grinding. And if they're not, they probably were at one point in time and got big enough. I mean, I think maybe some of the reasons why people might say they're not indie is you have some guys that, might have gotten super popular drawing like Batman, and they have these huge followings, and then they go to Image, and they obviously went through their pains and struggles to get there, but it can sometimes look like they're just giving comics to the big guys, and people are missing out that there are small guys that are still getting accepted into Image and stuff.
All right, cool. Tony, what are you thinking?
They're indie by technicality. I think it's safer to say they're creator-owned books, but I feel like the crowdfunding space is actual true indie. I just think that a lot of the mainstream kind of Image Comics creator-owned stuff, they've got a rap sheet of mainstream credits under their belts, and I feel like your true indie does not have a lot of those things going on for themselves. So it's really more purely about the work, where I feel like with Image, it's like the creator first and then the work that they have.
All right, cool. Aaron, what are you thinking?
I guess I don't know. Every time I try to explain indie comics to anyone outside of comics, they always like, independent from what? I'm like, I don't independent from the man. I don't know. Independent from Marvel and DC. Why is that a big deal? You know what? Fuck it. They're just comics. All comics. Image just publishes comics. That's it. So I don't know. I get tired of the indie thing, and I don't really think indie even brings anything to the. Saying indie comics doesn't mean anything to anyone. So I just call them comics. So are they still indie? If you want them to be, I guess. Other than that, they're just comic books to me. They're all just comic books. I get tired of trying to explain that to people. Why are they independent? Whatever. They're just comics. I'm gonna go down that road.
All right. Jay.
No, they're not independent. They're creator owned. 100% they're creator owned. They're not independent because they got a great big marketing machine behind them, right? Independent.
So Dark Horse isn't indie?
No, not anymore. They've been sold twice over, bro. They've been sold to. They're currently owned by Endeavor, right? A Swedish video game firm, and I forgot which organization owned Dark Horse before. Right? No, they're not indie. They're not indie. Shit, not even Bad Idea, because it's got Hollywood money behind it. Not even Boom.
Well, yeah, that for sure. Yeah,
It's got Hollywood money behind it, right?
Yeah.
Even the ill-fated TKO, when they were selling, right, Exactly. They were selling their books in miniseries sets, right? They weren't even doing individual releases. They were just putting out the 4-issue set in a nice collector's box. And whatchamacallit, it was a director who was getting a VC money behind them, right? Radical. They didn't survive this whole thing, right? But they were only in it because they were optioning their stuff. They had that Hercules movie made with The Rock that came out after they went out of business. Yeah, it was a bad movie, right?
That's true.
No, and Mark Silvestri can disagree. He can't disagree, right? But he's got millions upon millions behind him, right? But
he has millions behind him because he built.
Of course.
So this is the thing, right? I'll wait until it's my turn.
Yeah, okay, but you know what? They were building the stuff, but they had a lot of Hollywood investment. They had agents, bro. They had managers behind them.
Yeah, but that was the 90s.
Okay.
I mean, that was the 90s. Image didn't start as Image. Image started as a subsidiary of fucking Malibu.
Well, no, the guys went to Malibu to put their books into the market. Yeah. Right? Had they done on their own, yeah, they probably could have done it the Dave Sim way, right? The Dini way, right? Those guys, they were independent. They were independent. But once you have investment money behind you, and I'm not talking about backers on Kickstarter. I'm not talking about angel investors. I'm talking about corporate investors, VC money that have a vested interest in you making it outside of the comic book medium into something else.
So according to Jay, 90% of the publishers, small press, indie guys that have existed in the last 20 years aren't indie because they all had money behind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, if it's based on money, and independent means poor, and non-independent means wealthy.
Right.
Where's that money line? You have to have like 6 million, like 6,000 to be non-independent. I mean, where do you go from being independent to making so much money you succeed into whatever category non-independent is?
All right, so let me step outside the comics. No, dude. Let me step outside the comics for a second. Okay, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Right. Sam Raimi. The first one, the second one, that was independent. The third one had a major studio behind it. Was he still independent?
Sure, but Image as our example. When you had the original 7 guys, right? So you had those 7 dudes. But like when the next round came in, those guys weren't getting fed money. They were just like, "Hey, Sam Keith, come do your book."
Right.
And he just did his book.
I'm not taking away from creator owned. Is it creator owned? 100 motherfucking %. I'm with that. I'm with that.
But Sam wasn't paid to do it.
Sam was paid. But you know what Sam had, right? Sam was paying his $3,500 a month into the Image Corporation,
of course,
to have the sales team, right, make calls on his behalf, the marketing team to put out ads for his book. Do we have that? Or do we have to do that ourselves?
So Aaron was right. It's indies are poor.
No, because you can have the fucking dough.
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Is Brian Pulido indie?
Is Brian Comics Pulido indie?
Because he has everything that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
He has everything right. Because he's making his money. He bought his product back from whoever he sold it to.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You know what? I'll go as far as to make the water even muddier. Eric July, right? The Rippaverse, I would say he's indie because he's putting out his own. Yeah, is he making $2 million when he sold that first one? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got a team. He's got people marketing.
Right.
He's got an audience. He's got everything that you just said Sam didn't have.
But did he have that? Did he have that going into it, or did the money that he raised?
No, it was built. It was built, just like Image was built.
Yeah, it was. Yes, you're going to get to a certain point where, whether you like it or not, that sellout term can be applied to you. Not saying that you sold out to the man, right? But in the greatest scope of the community, oh, you're not one of us anymore, right? You've sold out. Can that happen? Fuck yeah, that could happen. Fuck yeah.
Okay, so my next wrinkle in your argument, and I hate to annoy you, JD, even though it's a little fun. So would you consider the Image guys, since they got their popularity boosted by Marvel, truly independent, because Image was really kind of successful because they're a bunch of Marvel guys. Jeff Smith, Eastman and Laird came from nothing and made out of just their property. So can you argue that Image was successful because of the books or because they were hot superstars from Marvel?
I want to say a little bit of both. I'm not saying they weren't indie when
So
they were.
who's more independent, Eastman and Laird and Jeff Smith, or the Image guys? Now I'm torturing them.
Jay, can I step in? Jay, can I step in for you a little bit?
Okay, good.
Jeff Smith did wind up at Image for a while and did manage to build up his fan base there. Yeah. Eventually ending up going over to Scholastic, where he really sold some books.
Yeah, so did Tony Moore. He moved over to Image too.
Right. And it doesn't always work for them, right? Jeff Smith came back. Jeff Smith, he stepped back out of it.
Yeah. But he's still at Scholastic though, and he's still selling those foreign rights. Is what's really keeping him afloat. Now,
so I would say Eastman and Laird were indie because they went and they sold those initial 3,000 units on their own, and somebody came knocking on their door, whether the story is accurate or not. You know, after 40 almost 50 years worth of telling, you know, it's become a big fish at this point. I don't know how accurate it is, right? But yeah, somebody went knocking on their door. He had a contract where if I can't sell this product for you, then the whatever option rights or deal rights go back to you. And he would drive in around his car, you know, with a latex turtle mocked up in shotgun, right? And that was the only product placement he had to help pitch that stuff. And then Playmates, who was lucky enough looking to expand their line, they went to that. So yes, that was lightning in a bottle, because it didn't happen with Dave Sim, right? It didn't happen with Bone. I mean, with Jeff Smith, he went the Image Scholastic route, right? Mm-hmm. Was Image indie when they started? Fuck yeah. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to take that from them. They grabbed their balls. Like what we are doing right now, grabbing our fucking balls and making our books on our own.
Show me your hands, Rosario. Show me your hands.
Right? But that's what we did. We did. And who's to say that money doesn't come, you know, our way? I hope to fucking God it does for each one of you. Jeff, I really do.
I mean, Jay, do me a favor. Just hold on for a second. Hold on a second. Just hold on. Walter has to go. Okay. So please, Walter, let us know where we can find you and your work, sir.
Yeah, you can find me at pretty much Walter Osley everywhere. If you want YouTube tutorials on making comics or webtoons, all that crap, on YouTube. You can read my webcomic at shiverbureau.com. And yeah, just look me up.
Right. Walter, brother, it was a pleasure. Anytime you want to come.
Nice talking with all you guys.
All right.
Indie Comics, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Peace out.
Take it easy, brother.
Okay, Calderon, answer the question.
Yeah.
Man, it is such a fucking complicated question, because here's the thing with Image, right? You have the original 7 guys, right, whom I really don't consider independent, right? Because with maybe the exception of Eric Larson, but you know, they've made enough money and done enough things that, you know, are they really independent? I don't know. But they also have a huge section of books underneath. If you go through that Image catalog, there's I guarantee you there's dozens of books that you've never heard of. That'll last 4 or 5 issues.
Hundreds of books.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll last 4 or 5 issues. They might make it to the trade if you're lucky. And poof, they're gone. And they have the same issues we have. Poor sales.
Yeah.
Right? I've heard there's one called Rocket Girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
From a few years ago. Beautiful book.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's nice.
They could not sustain it. They couldn't sustain the sales on it. They said, look, if we can hit 10,000, we can keep this going forever. That's all they needed.
Right.
Still 10,000.
I'm sorry, who was publishing them?
Image.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, that's why I'm saying it's a huge gray area for me, because like obviously Jim Lee's not there anymore, but Spawn. Do I really consider that indie? No, just like Hellboy. I love Mike Mignola, right? But is Hellboy indie? He's had 4 movies, right?
Yes.
You know,
that fourth movie, that was indie.
Well, yeah.
So then
That's
again, we come back to the levels, right? You can start there, but you can grow yourself out of it. Even though if you're an entity, like Mignola is an entity, right? He's his own stuff. You can still grow yourself out of the idea that I was an independent, creator or whatever.
Right. But also you have guys coming out of Marvel and DC pitching stuff to Image. They put it out.
Right.
And like I said, there's this book, Rocket Girl, which was a beautiful book, right? Fun book, but went nowhere because they couldn't sustain sales. Right. So it's like, it's one of those things. So it's like, and it's like Tom said, you'll see hundreds of those books in a catalog. I know I got at least a dozen, just one trade. Books from Image.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why we talk about how Image brings in all these names, is because for a long period of time, well over a decade, there was a period of time where they were letting just about anybody in. Right. It's like, here, bring your book, and that shit just collapsed. And well, it still happens today, yes. But the further you go back, you will run into this period of time where you're like, what in the fuck is this? I've never heard of any of this. Like, no chance no one knows what this stuff is. It's not in dollar boxes, it's in quarter bins. Like, it's kindling stuff. And so at a point, they reached a point where they're like, we can't do this. We're not selling anything. We need guys that have a little bit of a reputation. And that's where sort of the doors kind of shifted a little bit to like, can we get like a guy from DC to come write a book and bring that stuff over? And that's when all of that kind of started happening. And the sort of open door situation, while it technically still exists, you really need to come in with some sort of a following behind you or a track record behind you for them to kind of take you seriously now. There was some great stuff in the chat. I was really enjoying here. It was some great points. And I do like the idea of like, see, to me, let me come out for me. For me, indie guys, and this goes back to Rosario, indie guys aren't taking corporate money as like a startup, right? Like, you can build into corporate money and get a movie and whatever you want to do. But if you're starting on your own, like it was said in here, like if you're a Kickstarter guy and you need that money to kind of make the thing, that's sort of like pure indie. Like that makes absolute sense to me. With the Image guys, though, not the founders, but the guys that are coming in now, those guys, generally speaking, are not coming in with like angel investors behind them. And that's why I kind of still consider the majority of them anyway, indie guys, because they're just coming in saying, we made this book. Will you publish our book? And the Image says, yes, give us $2,500 a month every time you make an issue. Right. And they're like, okay, well, and Image is not paying for the writer. Image is not paying for the artist. Image is not paying for the colors. This is fucking shit. You pay that $2,500, which helps run the offices and, all that kind of stuff. But the rest of it is on you. And so that's why I still kind of look at Image as like, it's not mostly indie in that context, because these guys, what's the difference between if I took the exact same book to Image or Scout or Vault or whoever else is still publishing books, it would be the same situation, right? I'm taking my book to you. You guys are going to do the work, hopefully, theoretically, and there's some money that comes back to me. It's just that Image has made itself that third level of Marvel, DC, Image. They have elevated themselves over 30 years now to be the place where you want to be. And if you can't get there, then you go to Scout or Vault or whoever else and see if they'll take you. And you get different deals in that regard. So that's kind of where I was coming from. Is like, I feel like, and I love the idea of indie as a term. I love the idea as self-published, creator owned. These are all great terms that kind of create a ladder of indie, as you start to climb it. Who am I now? Who am I now? Who am I now? I love that idea. That's actually a really interesting sort of thought bubble of figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah.
So strange question, and I would just I'm looking, and I don't know this, so I'm asking this honestly. In manga, since most mangakás create stuff on their own, would they could be considered all independent? Because the people who publish them are magazine owners. They don't own the properties as far as I know. No, I
Yeah,
could be
ownership.
wrong.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
So I guess that they would all be independent to a degree.
Aaron, just give me a moment. Give me a second. Tony has to go as well. So Tony, please let us know where we can find you and your work, sir.
You can find me at T/J on Substack, at BananaBan on Instagram. Star Noir Book 4 has got like 24 days left, doing great. Check it out. My quick 2 cents about the indie comics thing. I think indie comics has like real indie comics has like a punk rock kind of quality to it. It's really just the creator and the creation with no discernible machine behind it. Just kind of very grassroots. That's my take on what true indie comics is.
All right, cool. Tony, man, it was a pleasure as always, brother.
Take care.
Take it easy. Take care, man.
All right, see you guys later.
All right, bye. All right. I'm sorry, Aaron. Keep going.
Oh no, you're fine. That was it. That was the question. I'm good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think ownership has to be part of that thought process because, like, again, and this is where it gets weird, right? If we're going to consider Valiant from back in the day, before they were bought by Acclaim, if that was indie, none of those guys owned any of that shit. Like, they were just working for Valiant. But we all were like, "Oh, independent comics. That's an independent comic."
Yeah.
But they were
think
really
we're so
not.
ingrained to think it's independent apart from Marvel, DC that I think.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Anything
Repeat that?
outside that
I lost you, Aaron. I lost you. Can you repeat that part?
He said we're trained to think of indie as
some that
apart
are
from
owned by
Marvel
companies.
and DC.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I did not know that.
All right. No, but I mean, look, going back to Image for a moment. The writer of Kill All Immortals, Zach. I'm sorry, I don't remember his last name. But he's a Hollywood writer, right? And it's his agents that led him in this direction.
Yeah.
Would that be considered part of the machine, right? Because they have a vested interest in getting that property recognized outside of comics, right? And they know that Image is
that's just part of the overall entertainment machine. That's like Keanu Reeves going to Boom,
of which we are not part of that overall entertainment machine.
Not at this point. No, we are not.
No.
Right. But if we do, just for shits and giggles now, here's the question, right? If someone drops you $50,000 to option your book for 5 years, an average of $10,000 a year, does that now make you indie? I mean, excuse me, does that keep you indie? Does that keep you self-published? Or does that elevate you to the next rung on the ladder?
All right. Neil.
I mean, I think if he's still publishing his books, but has this big movie deal or something, the books are still independent. Whatever success he has, there's a movie, there's a series about this independent book. If it doesn't get picked up by anybody, it's still independent. It's still, I don't see, I mean, just because you have money coming in from somewhere that is corporate money, I don't necessarily see the difference. If my rich uncle gives me a fat stack of money and tells me to make a comic book, am I not independent anymore?
Well, that's
or does it depend on who my uncle is? If my uncle's just some rich nobody, but if it's a rich nobody that has some kind of public platform, then I'm no longer indie.
What do you use that money for? Right? Do you use it to expand and elevate yourself? Do you create a corporate IPO? Do you go public with it? Right? There's like Tom was saying before, there's rungs on the ladder.
Yeah.
Right? You could take that money and cash out. That's it, right? He hooked you up, you took care of what you needed to take care of, and you cashed out with it. Or you're going to continue to publish, or you use that to buy other IP, right?
I mean, you can argue too. I mean, a lot of times, especially in comics, if you have a movie, like you said, if you have a movie, you've made it, right? But there's such thing as independent movies. So there's independent movies in the context of movies. So you could even say, like, well, what if you made an independent movie of, say, like The Shield of the Vindicator? Does that mean you made it? Or is now you doing a whole nother indie field?
But yeah, and then you can get that same. I mean, there's.
I mean, you're
big actors in them. Yeah. Oh, it's just There's no way to dissect any of this and actually come up with an answer. But
it's a ladder. Here's what it is, guys. It's the sales funnel, right? Except it's the indie ladder, and there's rungs where wherever you are and whatever you've accomplished moves you up the ladder a little bit, until you're Todd McFarlane and you own your own toy company and you do whatever you want.
Okay, I want to throw a wrench in this whole idea. All right, because I like where we're going with it. I'm not disagreeing with what anybody is saying. Right? There's different levels and different ways for this all to be interpreted. But Malibu, before it was bought by Marvel, before they published Image, made a book called Men in Black. And then that book became a major motion picture with subsequent sequels. That book was never heard of again as a comic.
Yeah.
Does that comic book still become, is it still classified as indie?
No, because it's owned by Marvel. They purchased Malibu and they also purchased Men in Black. Yeah. And the reason they haven't done any more comic books is because, look, Marvel can barely handle Captain America.
Yeah,
that's true.
You want them to handle something weird and strange? Come on. They just don't have the capacity for it anymore. They don't have
I would bet that it's different, that's part of it, but I think there's more to it. And it's the reason why we don't get Malibu comics anymore. And it's because all those characters are owned by people. That was the deal. Malibu was publishing them, but all those dudes own their shit to some capacity, whatever the percentage was. So if Marvel were to publish Prime, they'd be like, well, we have to pay somebody money and we don't want to do that. So I would guess that there's probably something linked into Men in Black that's the same way.
That's possible, but I could have sworn they did try to do Men in Black miniseries back in the day. And when I say the day, I mean like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
Right.
And it was
based on the movie, right?
Well, they had a cartoon they tried to launch too. There was a cartoon done with the same guys that did the Jackie Chan cartoon. It was really well done.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I think that was also Marvel's way of maybe pushing that property a little more, but it never took off.
Oh yeah, I could see them coming out and doing cartoons or movies because that's big budget things. We can sell merchandise, but for them to be like, well, let's make a comic book. There's not going to be any scratch in it for them.
No, I don't. And the funny thing is like there's a few properties that Marvel has done that and then just kind of push forward. Like Blade, I mean, they kind of go in and out with like when the Blade movie came out was relatively successful. I don't remember them Kickstarter a new Blade comic, or maybe they did. I don't know. I can't remember.
They tried. They could just never get a team on it that worked.
Yeah, it just never sold. That's why it was always like it would run for a while and stop and come back and come back. Just like Ghost Rider is the same way. It just kind of runs for a while and stops, and somebody else comes in, and they have no concept. It really feels like they have no concept of what their supernatural world is, and that's why they can't write a fucking vampire hunter movie. Like I don't know how this is so hard, but they can't do it. And that's why we don't have one yet.
Well, they still, I can't count how many times they kept fucking up the Punisher movies. Like Hollywood has been known to make amazing gun action movies, and you guys can't fucking figure this out. You guys can't like give the Punisher to the guys who do John Wick. Just fuck it, give them to that, right? Like because I've seen so many Punishers like, no, that's not the same. No, that's not the take. They add conspiracy theories. Like, no, this guy just goes out and kills motherfuckers. That's what he does. That's his whole point. The skull chest. And they still, so many of them cannot get it right. And I'm just like, how is this possible, Hollywood? You make shoot up movies, cop movies. That's one of your shticks. And they still couldn't score it. And I couldn't figure that out. So,
does Al need to have something told to him?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay. Hey, Al, they don't own shit.
Yeah.
They sold that stuff decades ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long gone out of their hands.
Is it Laird? I think Laird is the one with the agreement, though.
Yeah.
That he can release, I think, 10 or 12 issues a year of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
right?
If he wants to do it,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Eastman is work for hire.
Yeah, Eastman's work for hire at this point. Yeah,
Eastman has Eastman got brought back on as far as like the comics as to oversee, what they're doing.
Okay, so here's funny. Here's what's funny about Eastman, right? He tried to hold on to oh my god, not 2000 AD. He tried to hold on to heavy metal, right? He tried to come up with his own museum of comic book art, right? Not MoCA downtown in Manhattan, but his own thing, right? He established Tundra. So his money, he did try to take that money and do good within the comic book community.
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Didn't he do
But-
the scholarship? Wasn't
But-
it? As, you know,
But he also
That's
bought a
the other
tank, Rosario.
Slayer.
He also bought a tank.
He
So
bought a tank.
He
He
did
bought a tank. He bought a tank. Right.
To
But
do
that-
good
but-
for his community. I don't see how those are mutually exclusive.
Right. It was for the kids.
Yeah.
it was
Kids love tanks.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
never
and
wanted-
he funded FAC 2, Heavy Metal 2 with his
Yeah.
own money, right?
yeah. He had some aspect of that. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
his
the-
wife was involved with that at the time. I don't know if he's still
yeah,
married.
Right. No.
Really straight, I
She
think
passed
she was.
away. She passed away.
Yeah, she
right.
passed away.
Oh, did she? I'm
They got divorced. Yeah. But that goes to show you, right? When you're too indie, you can mismanage your own finances and
Yeah.
shoot yourself in the foot.
I mean, look, he did it. Rob Liefeld did it. You know, Rob Liefeld. I listen to his podcast all the time. He talks about all the money he spent.
Rob didn't buy a tank.
He didn't buy a
No,
tank.
but he did build the Youngblood spaceship and a
For
giant.
San Diego. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
He
like the
said
Bad
there was a-
Rock, like cosplay.
Yeah,
guy.
and
Like,
even he said that was the dumbest shit he ever done.
on the indie ladder, where is the rung for buy a tank? Is that like top?
That's the top.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
top.
Top, brother.
That's the
so
top.
if you
yeah.
get a tank, you're done. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
The top
yeah,
of the
yeah,
ladder.
Is it like a modern tank, or was it like the old World War One tank? I mean, we've got to like figure out what kind of tank we're talking about here.
He's got
Because it's
big
an
stuff.
American. Could be one of those cool, like Russian tanks or something. Who knows?
It was probably like the one that Garner had. What was that? A Sherman tank? That movie tank? I'm guessing. it was
Okay,
probably
yeah.
like-
The basic
Ru-
American World War II, the
yeah.
Sherman.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing it was that, but I don't know
Yeah.
for sure. But I would say if anyone would be inspired by the movie Tank, it would be him. I want a tank too.
All right, cool.
That
All
could
right, I
have
got a
gone somewhere, yeah.
All right, I got a
I
question
would-
for you guys.
If they were good, they could have gone somewhere.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the
The
Savage Dragon
cartoon.
cartoon went 2 seasons.
Yeah.
There you go. When the tank is gold plated, you're mainstream. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, the Spawn cartoon. Yeah, that one 2 seasons. And the other one.
Three
Right.
seasons.
Was
I
it
got
3
it.
seasons? Okay.
3 seasons. Yeah, I got all 3.
And is he still making the Spawn movie, or does that did now?
It's all in progress.
Limbo. Okay.
You know,
I-
Amy
I-
Fox is still attached to it. There's updates occasionally, like, well, we're kind of made another step. We made another step.
It's like Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still coming. Okay, still getting there. Yeah, the
Right.
Spawn. Oh yeah, did he actually make a life-size version of the Spawn
Yes.
mobile?
Yes.
That's
Well,
right.
the Spawnmobile was just a drag racer that he
And
painted
then he painted it. Okay,
with fire on it. Yeah. So that wasn't like a custom built thing. Yeah.
right.
All right,
Yeah,
John,
I think was Tom McFarlane the only one that actually split off to do. He did a toy company. All the other creators kind of stayed mostly in
In comics.
comics. I don't remember them really making another company that did any other merchandise.
Because all the guys went to him, like there were Wetworks toys and Youngblood toys.
Yeah.
and, you
So
know,
why
they all-
even bother?
It
making
was
that?
funny enough. It was Jim Lee who went somewhere else.
right.
Playmates.
To Playmates. Yeah, he went somewhere else with his
Yeah,
Wildcat.
and Savage
right.
Dragon also went to Playmates.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. And then they all came back. I know they did it. I think McFarlane did a Savage Dragon figure, but I don't know if he did Wildcats. So
No, he did Whatworks figures.
yeah.
All I know is that this is the one that matters.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I think I still have mine in my garage somewhere with the little dudes.
Yeah.
And they never made the bad guy for that, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, they made those, but they never made the evil wizard guy, whatever. I was like, oh, it's kind of a missed opportunity. But the Max.
Oh yeah, that's true. They never did.
Oh, and Spawn had a fighting game from Capcom on the Dreamcast.
He had that one, and he had another. They've had like
That was a good game.
Respawn video games. And that's another thing. They never really went into video games. They never quite figured that out. You think like a Savage Dragon
Because
video
that's
game.
really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
that's
It
movies
isn't really
expensive?
made. I mean, movies okay, but if you get like a billion-dollar video game made out of it, that's the pinnacle.
That's why everything's a skin now because it's really easy to just say, let's just skin Spawn
Oh,
in Fortnite.
That's
and then
right.
have Spawn in a video
Spawn.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had that Spawn video game for the Dreamcast. It was a fighting game. It was great, and I sold it on eBay for almost $300
Yeah, those-
years later because it was that good. It is revered.
I still have my Dreamcast. Sounds like a jet engine when you turn it on, but it still works. It's kicking.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah. And I couldn't sell it. It was. I love that system. So like, no, it's mine. I'm gonna keep it.
Nice. Here, I got a question for you guys. Give me an old school writer and a new school writer whose work you enjoy today, and admire. So an old school and new school.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'll
let you guys choose.
Yeah, if nobody's ready, I'm ready. I'm good with it.
Go for it.
Okay. Mark Greenwald.
Okay.
His Captain America run was my entry almost into Marvel Comics. It was always on the spinner rack at Walden Books because I guess nobody thought Captain America was cool enough. So it was the first series I was able to pick up on a regular basis. Mark Greenwald was my man. Captain America, the whole Easy Rider aesthetic behind the stories was it for me. And today, I'm going to say Daniel Warren Johnson. Neil, you're doing a comic book about wrestling. If you get the chance, please read Do a Powerbomb from Daniel Warren Johnson. He went bonkers with it and then was able to land it on the very last page. And it was, I'm a wrestling fan, so for it to keep up so many themes, like even backstage drama within the series, but as outlandish as the premise was, wow. I legitimately cried at the end of the book.
Yeah.
It was that good.
Let me tell you, he may not look it, but Jay is a pussy.
Seconded.
No, it is a very good book. It is a very good book, and it is very emotional too. So, yeah. Aaron, you?
Yeah, I think so. The three. Oh man, I don't know. I did I know John Byrne. I liked Frank Miller, John Byrne when I was growing up. I really liked the Martha Washington series by Frank Miller. I like Sin City, but I'm really a huge fan of the Martha Washington series. New writer is I really like Rick Remender, even though that guy pisses me off to no end.
That was going to be my answer there too.
Because I love Fear Agent, but everything since Fear Agent hasn't stood up. I read Low and I got to the end of Low and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Rick. That was a stupid ending.
I'll stick with Deadly Class.
He's a good writer, but he's a hit or miss with me, but he always has really. I actually picked up a book like, oh, this art's really cool. I like this book. I'll get it. I had no idea it was actually written by Rick Remender. So apparently, I'm attracted to the guy without even knowing he wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Yeah.
All right, Neil. Continue from where Aaron left off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. For new, I was definitely for new larger ones. Rick Remender is I think Deadly Class got me back into some of the comics when I started picking up that. And God, I remember tearing through all of his stuff. Black Science, I really liked. Mm-hmm. But there are some like Low. Yeah, it had a neat concept. And then, just petered off with that. God, it was. I would just sit and look at it, but that's some of
that's how he
pretty
draws
nonsense.
me, and he gets these amazing artists, and then sometimes he just can't stick the ending for me.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know why.
Absolutely, God, and so I'm probably slightly younger than you guys. So when I was a kid, I wasn't reading too much. That I remember reading some of the Kirby early stuff there, but it was just random throw-offs from what my friends had, and that would have been still in the 90s, so not old stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've gone back and read a little of it, but I'm not as well versed on some of those beginner authors, and I definitely should be, but that's where I'm lacking.
All right, that's fair. Tom, what do you think?
This is where I piss everybody off. I don't follow writers, period. I don't believe that because someone wrote something good in one genre or one character that it translates to something else. It can, but just because you wrote a great Wonder Woman doesn't mean you can write a great, I don't know, fucking Spawn, right? Because they're just polar opposite characters. So that's not to say I won't give things a try, but I'm not a writer following person. Like Robert Kirkman, I don't like anything that he does except for Invincible. And everything else that I've read, I'm just like, no, I don't want any of this. Put it all away. Don't want it. Who else? I don't like Grant Morrison, but I like the first half of All-Star Superman. The first half, not the second half. So it's to me, it's all very, very hyper specifically a book by a person, and that works. And then when they hop off, I see who's replacing them and you know, whatever. But I you know, for me, the only old guy, John Byrne for sure. I know I came up with John Byrne stuff, and Chris Claremont. Those are sort of my two sort of go-to old folks. I came up with a lot of Wonder Woman in the 70s. I couldn't tell you who wrote them. I have no clue. You know, when I was reading that stuff, I was a kid. I didn't read a credits portion of a book. Like, who cares? I'm reading a comic book. I don't care who did it. So I have no idea who made those things. I know some of the artists, but I don't know who wrote them. So it's tough for me because I don't follow things. So as far as like a modern writer, most of the modern writers that people freak out about, I can't read anything that they do. Time after time after time, they're like, you got to read this. You got to read this. I'm like, okay, but no, the answer is no. So I think the only sort of modern right, but again, if he went and did something else, it wouldn't matter. But what I do love is what Stephen Sejic has done with Sunstone, because that is such a fucking, he pisses me off. And I tell him this too. Whenever I get a new Sunstone, I'm like, fuck you. Now I have to level up what I'm doing, man, because your characters are so great. Your dialogue is so great. Your storytelling is like right there. Like it's so good every time. And that bugs me because I know I'm not that good every time.
Have you read some of his other works? They did a fantasy series too, and I can't think of it now.
There's been a couple other, and that's my point, right? There's a couple other things that he's done along with his wife too. Yeah. And they haven't, for whatever reason, it just doesn't land for me. You know, sometimes it's just concept, like the concept doesn't work for you. That's fine. But yeah, it's you know, it's like Tim Seeley, right? I can read Hack Slash. I don't really read anything else that he does. So it's for me, it's all too hyper specific. It's what the thing is. The thing has to work for me. And then, you know, whoever happens to be writing it, oh, okay, well, I like this now for as long as it exists. And if the guy goes off and does something else, I might give it the old college try. But so far, a lot of it just sort of falls short. So I don't know.
I remember I was reading Sunstone at work for a while. People were like, what do you read? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing is right. Yeah, nothing. Go
away. Superheroes.
On about your day.
Go on about
your day. Yeah. Here's, I guess, maybe the only guy so far that I could jump around, but he does the same thing all the time, is Adam Warren, right? So he did the Dirty Pair books, he did Empowered, he did the Bubblegum Crisis. But that's all the same genre. So it makes sense that if I like that, I'm going to like the other things that he does. He did some stuff with Gen 13, you know, for a long time.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, you know, that's not peak for me, but it's like, it's okay. Cause it's still in that, you know, that type of character world. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, that's fair. I'll go with some names I don't mention as much. So for an old school writer, James Robinson, for Starman, okay, because I think his Starman run is as good as Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run and Frank Miller's Daredevil run. I think it's on par with those two series. you know, and I think it's as good as either one of those. And if you haven't read it, I would suggest it. The modern one, and I only say this because I only started reading his stuff within the last 2 years. Jeff Johns, who's been around for a while, but I only started reading his stuff in the last 2 years, and I really love his Ghost Machine stuff, and that's all of it. I haven't read a stinker yet. I've been enjoying all that stuff. And I've been reading his Green Lantern, like out of the compendiums, like his thick monster books. I've been reading those, and I've been really enjoying those. This is older work. I don't think I'll ever get to Flash because I just think Flash is a stupid fucking character.
Oh wow!
I still have
I can't
characters, and I'm like, no, no.
I just listen. I mean, when I read the stat that he can move like 1,000,000 or trillion times faster than the speed of light, I was just like, no. That technically, he can be everywhere all the time. That's how fast he moves.
Yeah, we've definitely reached a point with a lot of these characters where they've reached sort of these supreme power points. And it's been evolution. You know, it wasn't like this is how they were created. It's evolution. Right. And I think that's the fun of the characters, is watching them evolve and, you know, finding new ways to use the powers and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think that's great. But you do eventually, in continuity anyway, reach a point where it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy's going to, you know, run around the earth and cut it in half in a second. He's going so fast. Like it's a little bit crazy. Yeah.
Well, Wolverine was that way. I remember in the X-Men, he got shot in the stomach, and they said in one of the, I think it was the Fall of the Mutants, it usually takes him an hour to heal from a gunshot wound. Right. And then I think one of the issues, he actually resurrected from like one cell of him, like regrew himself. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I like superheroes with limitations, but if you're doing that, I'm just like, okay, he can't be killed. Got it. Then where's the stakes in this? There's no stakes.
Right.
So,
I mean, and with Flash, if he moves that fast, there shouldn't be any crime. There shouldn't be any war. There should be nothing. Like there should be no wrongdoing on the planet because he can always watch. Yeah. You would never have a moment of privacy ever in your life because the Flash would always be there. Because that's how fast he moves.
He could see. That's the story. That's the last Flash story. Is that Flash has taken over the world. Because every time somebody comes into power, he's like, nope.
Or he just becomes
like,
Santa Claus.
An Amazon company and make billions doing that. Just deliver all your packages like that.
Yeah, it's hired by Amazon. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be kind of weird if you got it from the toilet flushed on its own because the Flash stopped by to flush the toilet for you. So I mean, that's a little weird. But it could happen, right?
But it could happen, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you said, no stakes. There's no stakes.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So, yeah, it's just crazy. But I don't know. Jay's gone. Tom, you got another question?
Probably not.
What does that mean, Tom? I don't know what that means, Tom.
I don't either.
I don't know what that means, Tom. At least ask a question about laser blast, something.
I mean, I could do that. Oh, I'll tell you something. You got to see this. You got to see this. I'm gonna have to send this to you, and then you're gonna have to put it up. Because when I saw this picture, I was like, this is what we have to do. This is now my goal in life. Hold on, I got to get it off my phone here.
It's probably a picture of a tank.
No. I'm going to leave that for the turtle folks to worry about. They're getting their tank.
He didn't get a turtle van. You think that would have been like a no-brainer, right? Get a carbon copy of the turtle van from the cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, my understanding is that they weren't big fans of that stuff.
I don't think they were either.
No, they weren't. Yeah, that was all Nickelodeon or not Nickelodeon, but whoever it was that was making them.
Yeah, they weren't big fans of Cowabunga and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think
they're a bunch of like old 80s heavy metal dudes. Yeah, I didn't see that stuff, really connecting.
Okay, I sent you a picture on Facebook. So for those that don't know, when you're on the JD Rosario show on Fridays, we talk a lot about Laser Blast from time to time, but Friday was like a deep Laser Blast period. And I was on Facebook a couple of days ago, just scrolling, and this picture came up. And as soon as I saw this picture, I was like, this is the ultimate fan cast for the remake of
Jesus.
Laser Blast.
No,
Like
Which one?
the hair is absolutely right. The face is absolutely right. Dude is a great actor. That is your dude for the Laser Blast remake right there. 100%.
yeah. You should have saved it for Friday. Now we got nothing to talk about.
No, I got something
No
for you
Friday,
on Friday too.
no Friday
Listen
show
to
now,
Friday.
folks. No Friday show. No.
Wait a minute. Is that Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
him as Jeffrey Dahmer in the show. Yeah, it's Evan
Okay,
Peters.
because I've seen Jeffrey Dahmer, because the actor who played him looked damn spot on to the guy. So sometimes they get him confused.
Yeah, that's Evan Peters in the Jeffrey Dahmer show. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I watched 2 episodes of that, and then I'm like, God, he eats people good. I would live through that shit. So
sometimes I think that Calderon and Tom use my platform to further their needs with exposing people to the Laser Blast movie. I really do. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just a
We're not-
facilitator. I'm not.
We're not disagreeing. with you.
eventually Charles Band is going to find these shows,
Yeah.
and he's going to be like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?"
Well, did you speak to your colorist?
No, not yet. I will. I'll buzz him tomorrow and see if he wants to pop on this week.
So, Jay, do you have a question?
I asked like 5 of them today. Why do you got to go to the well, bro? Come
Because
on.
you're the co-host.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why I asked 5 of them. He said, "Oh, Jay, you got to do the heavy lifting." I'm pulling shit out of my ass. Come on.
That's
bro.
every week. That's every week. And believe it or not, no one is impressed with your ass.
Excuse me. This ass makes me so much money on Times Square. Okay. How do you think I make so many comics in my career? Come on, bro.
Times Square doesn't do that anymore.
You think it all comes from sale?
Hasn't been a deuce in a long time. Hasn't been a deuce in a long time, bro.
You don't know
I mean-
part of Times Square. You're right. I'm sorry. It's not Times Square. It's the kitchen. The kitchen is the Hell's Kitchen right now is the area where they do a little bit of that extra. For those of you who don't know Manhattan, the Hustler Club actually resides in Hell's Kitchen. So just a little bit of juice for people.
I know. I remember in Portland, there were rumors that it was who's that famous porn star owned the Swingers Club. He's chubby, hairy. Everybody, Ron Jeremy, Swingers Club. I didn't know it ever existed. I walked to work one day. There's a big Humvee. It says that right in pink letters across. I'm like, oh, must be fucking real.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know about that. I don't know
As
about
dumb
that.
as it is, I never go in there, but because I heard the Russian mafia hangs out there, so I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to get my ass shot.
All right.
But
So let me just softball everybody.
Yeah,
So-
softball.
There we go. We'll go the softball round. Yeah, we'll go the softball route because I'm just looking at these other things. Who is an artist? And I've asked this question before, so Tom and Jay already know. So who's either an artist or a writer that you would want to work with?
Softball.
That's a softball.
All right.
So Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, either one. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Go
Man,
ahead, Aaron.
I am one of those guys that do not like to share. And I will admit that full front. It could be a detriment. I drew a comic for some guys, and then the inker came in and crapped on it, and the colorist. I even tried to give colors that they should use, and they're like, "No, whatever. We got to grail a box of colors." Weed. After that, I don't know. I think my friend Tom, as dumb as it is, it'd be somebody. It wouldn't be anybody famous. It'd be somebody I know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I just never have had any inclination to want to work with other people. As dumb as that sounds, I don't know why. I just always just like, no, I have my own vision. I want to do it myself. Give it to me, mine. It's probably to my detriment that this happens, but yeah, I'm greedy. So
That's what makes you indie.
that's what makes me indie. More indie than I probably really should be, but yeah.
That's fair. Neil, what are your thoughts?
Oh man. I don't know. I really am drawn to like Scotty Young right now. Some of that style. I'm not sure what I'd want to write for something like that. But I just dig that style. So I think I would strive to find something that would fit.
All right, cool. Scotty Young, yeah. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I would be a little careful because some of the people that I could name are actually doing things. Like I've got confirmation. I'm like, and I'm losing my shit over who's doing these things. So we're not going to talk about them yet.
Well, you just let us know who they are.
Nope, absolutely not.
Just,
No, absolutely not.
it's not a big
We're not putting any jinx on it whatsoever because it's all working right now. I mean, there's lots of artists I would love to work with, and some of them I've talked to, and they've given me sort of the thumbs up. Like if they have opportunity, they can do it. Like I've talked to Adam Warren about doing a cover, and he was like, "Yeah." And this was back when he was doing Empowered. So now that it's done, he might actually have like windows of opportunity. So I might hit him up again and see if I can get something from him. You know, Todd McFarlane and Art Adams are my sort of top 2 bucket list guys that I'll probably never get, but they're there forever until I get to work with them. And then, you know, there's the guys like Mark Schultz. I would love to have Mark Schultz do something. Frank Otto. I keep talking to Frank Otto all the time. He works for DC. He's exclusive with DC. He does the DC versus Vampires stuff, and I love it. And every time he posts something, I'm like, now? It's like, nope. So at least he knows I'm out there. So if there's ever a yes, like put me in there, buddy. So he's really fun. He's like, I'm sorry, but my editor does not let me do that. And I'm like, I get it. Just you tell me when it's yes, and I'm ready. It's not a problem. Adam Hughes would be a guy that's high on the bucket list. I don't know about writers so much. There are some guys that I would definitely give opportunities to. Not opportunities because they've already been working, but like you know, I'd love to work with like Vince Hernandez from Aspen. So I knew him for years when I was over at the Aspen crew. He's very, very cool. I would definitely love to be like, hey, do you want to do something? And hopefully he'd be game for it. So there's a few out there like that. Yeah. But I've been knocking on doors. Like I've said before, like don't be afraid to knock on the door because you don't know what those guys are doing at any given moment. And even if they say, well, yeah, it might be the end of the year, at least you got the door open a little bit and, you know, come back at the right time and see if it works.
Cool. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Funny things happened with Friday. You know, I had reached out to Kyle Hotz, and he did the cover for this one book that was showed on Friday's show. And like Tom, he said, not not right now, because he's in the middle of a project for a company. And I said, okay, cool. So he hit me up and he's like, you know, just wait until the summer. I'm like, all right, sounds good. But I am a huge Ron Lim fan.
Mm-hmm. You can get Ron Lim.
I want Ron Lim.
You can get Ron Lim.
Ron Lim Silver Surfer is my Silver Surfer. I'm not trying to put down anyone else that ever worked on Silver Surfer. But when I was picking up his books in Puerto Rico at a Walgreens, you know, it was the Ron Lim stuff. And it was just, it got me, right? Ron Lim and Jim Starlin. And then Ron Lim was doing Captain America for a minute. And I was like, you know, he was for me, he was Ed McGuinness before Ed McGuinness. You know, he was the big, bulky hero artist. But Ron Lim Silver Surfer is the epitome of the Silver Surfer to me.
If he has any interest in what you're showing him, you can get Ron Lim.
Yeah.
I would kill for Ron Lim.
Knock on the door.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have to kill for him.
Just make sure you show the body around them to prove that you've actually killed for him. That way, he'd be more willing to accept you.
Well, I gotta be asked for the sacrifice first. Then I go. You don't want to be preemptive. You don't want to waste.
Yeah, that's right. You know? Do I cut here, Ron, or take the heart out? Like, how do I do this?
Right.
How do I satisfy you, Dark Lord?
He might just want the liver.
The liver, yeah, right.
We just probably want the logo. I think one of the guys I'd want to work with is Jerome Opina.
Okay.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't know
really
who-
like Seven to Eternity.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right.
Fear Agent.
Yeah, I just bought that book. That he's the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artist is fantastic in that. Again, that's why I recommend it. Always drives me. Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, he knows how to pick them, man. He picks great
Yeah, he
art.
does.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that book's beautiful.
All right, gentlemen. We made it to hour 2. Thank you so much. All you guys are great. So let's start with Mr. Aaron. Where can we find you in your work, sir?
Pretty much Facebook. I do a little bit of Instagram, but I'm not following off there. I'm horrible at social media. I just like to read it. I literally, maybe because of my age, I forget the post. I just literally forget. I'm just like, am I supposed to post? I'm supposed to post shit in this. But then you can see me at Humphres Illustration. Put that in, you'll get bigger until you get my website. My website has more of my work art. What I do a lot of motion graphics and stuff, so there's a lot of that on there. You can see my comics on there, but then you go down and look at my storyboards and all my other stuff I've done for companies around the globe. So may not be exciting for comic book people, but it's there. So
All right, cool. Neil, where can we find you in your work, sir?
Yeah, all my stuff is Neil Moherman or Neil Moherman Comics, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. Oh, yeah. And it's Moherman.
All right, cool. Tom, where can we find you in your work, sir?
BigDogInk.com. Get comics, back issues, trade paperbacks, whatever you need. And then Saturday at noon Eastern time, we launch the new Legend of Oz book.
Very nice. Mr. Rosario.
UnstoppableComics.com. You'll find all my social media links on the website. Then Friday nights, Comic Book Streamland with this guy and with this guy. We bust each other's chops. We talk about what's going on in comics. Sometimes we bring up this classic cult fucking movie that I really hate talking about. But these guys keep feeding into it. You know, I really got to ask, did you guys really like it, or do you guys really just like to
Jay,
dig me?
I'm going to tell you this again. At no point in any of these discussions have any of us said, this is a great movie and you got to watch it.
No, you said you got to watch it. You
No,
both said
never,
you got,
never,
I never wanted to.
ever has this been said that you have
both
to watch
said
this movie.
You got to watch
No,
it.
this all
said,
came
hey,
out from me
It's on
simply
Amazon.
asking,
Jay, you got to
hey,
see it.
does anybody remember this movie? Because I was like by myself remembering this movie. And then some people were like, yeah, kind of. And other people were like, nope. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I told them about what the movie was. It's this and this, and it's got aliens and whatever. And at no point did I say, run to your television and see this movie, because I know better.
You know what? I'm going to say this. If not both of you, definitely one of you said you need to watch it. Okay? And
I would say, if anyone, it was Marvin. Marvin may have said
it. That's a possibility too. One of you motherfuckers made me watch it.
No.
Nobody made you watch it. You
we mentioned the movie.
You made me watch it. You said, "Hey Jay, it's free." And everybody knows my favorite price is $3.99. So I turned it on because I pay for Amazon, and I got to get my $1 per view per monthly payment down.
You might like the comic more because there's a lot going on in the comic.
You guys talk about JD's, like, here's JD's comics, here's Laser Blast. Now Laser Blast being the epitome of the standard, then the comparison goes.
Dude, I wanted to get into this whole episode about gatekeeping. People don't let you, who talk shit about your books. And the most of the episode, 90% of it was talking about this fucking show, this movie, and Frick and Frack, each one upping each other with Laser Blast memorabilia that they had. It's like, and one more. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the joke has come to a point where I want to bring any of the creators who worked on either the comic book or the movie on Friday night. We just fucking have to, you know. If we get the producer, I'm just ending the fucking show. I'm just gonna let you know right now. There's no way we're topping that son of a bitch, because this has been a buildup for more than a year. Anyways, if you want to have fun, be a fly on the wall, bullshit with us, it's BarCon without actually having to go to the con. But BYOB. Friday nights, YouTube, comic book streaming.
All right. Very nice. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. Here on YouTube, just about every Sunday night, with these fine gentlemen and other fine gentlemen and sometimes a lady. But please, everyone, check out the show notes. In the show notes are links to all of these campaigns and all of these creators' works. Please click on those links, buy those books. All these creators, they're impassioned creators. They're all doing great books. Please click those links, buy those books. These creators deserve your support. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And don't forget, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Taylor.